Hey everybody, and Tony here with a tribute to a Christmas special from a show I had an on and off relationship with. I'm of course referring to a very special Family Guy Freakin' Christmas from of course Family Guy, which premiered on December 21, 2001. Now, I first encountered this show when I was an 11-year-old boy visiting some family friends in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I caught this on Adult Swim, and my very first impressions were that I thought it was a very cool show. I thought the characters were absolutely funny, and it was something really unique. Cut to when I was a 13-year-old visiting some relatives in San Francisco alongside my mom, my dad, my younger sister, and younger brother, did my love for this show flourish, especially when I caught them on DVD. It's safe to say that the show's first 3 seasons have a very special place in my heart. Yes, to some extent, seasons 4, 5, and maybe 6 were still okay. However, I did feel like season 7 onwards was kind of where the crap started, and even though there were some moments which were okay to good, other times I felt like the show could have just been done and over with. But then again, Family Guy did have a very interesting yet kind of weird history. After the first 3 seasons, it got canceled. But then Cartoon Network's Adult Swim rescued it with the use of reruns. And of course, it ended up back on the air and it even aired on Fox. So it's very safe to say that Family Guy had a very weird and, dare I say, convoluted broadcasting history. But when all is said and done, I would rather keep the first 3 seasons of Family Guy close to my heart because it had a lot of my most favorite episodes on there. Most notably, Lethal Weapons, To Love and Die in Dixie, and, of course, a very special Family Guy Freakin' Christmas. The Christmas special starts off with Lois, Meg, Chris, and Stewie outside a park, and they're observing a Christmas tree, and Lois longs to have the perfect Christmas and also states that the star on top represents the one that the 3 wise men have to follow as a prophecy for the baby Lord Jesus. That is until Peter comes in crashing with his car, getting drunk, and then a camel falls on him. So throughout this episode, we see Lois doing her damnedest, trying to have the perfect Christmas, from making Stewie be involved in a Christmas pageant as the baby Jesus, to making sure that Christmas dinner, starting off with turkey, is well cooked, and to making sure that Peter does everything from getting a Christmas tree all the way up to doing some really good deeds. Yes, even though Peter did some rather good deeds, like giving away some toys to charity, he actually gave away all the toys meant for the family, which at first satisfies Lois, but then again, she wasn't really that satisfied when he gave away all of their gifts. But still, she felt like the thought counts, and she basically rewards Peter with television watching. And what Meg wants for Christmas is one of those earrings containing those fancy little bugs. And of course, Chris, being the simple one, wants peace on earth and nothing more. Meanwhile, we have Stewie making snide comments about how he's going to be playing baby Jesus. And on top of that, he even has a nightmare in which he encounters Santa, and they engage in a little bit of a scuffle. But unfortunately, Santa gets the upper hand. He places Stewie in his sack, lobotomizes him, and Stewie ends up as one of Santa's elves. Thank goodness for Stewie it was a dream, and I thought that this scene, though short, was actually kind of funny, and it deserved to be a highlight in my opinion. So with Lois trying to make sure that everything goes perfectly, from being really good sports to Joe and his wife, and of course making sure that everything is well arranged, some things just end up going awry. While Brian is home alone, there is a spark from the oven while the turkey is cooking, which then leads a smoke alarm to come off. After all that, Brian does his damnedest to extinguish the fire, but he ends up getting a joke fire extinguisher because, well, Peter placed it there for him. So Brian has to end up getting the real fire extinguisher to take out all that fire in the living room. That is until he smells something burning in the kitchen, and that is the turkey. So when the family comes back from their shopping, we see Brian's hands being burnt, and the house is in a major mess. Brian and Peter then bicker, but Lois constantly reminds them that it is the spirit of Christmas and they have to forgive each other. And once Lois proceeds to say that they can just help out with cleaning up the place, Meg states that there are no paper towels. And then we have one moment which made me laugh so hard. And of course, it was a reference to Mommy Dearest's no wire hangers line, whereas with this version, Lois says no paper towels, and she proceeds to scream her lungs out. That alone is my most favorite moment, and that doesn't stop there. Oh no. We see Lois ranting and raving about how she tried her damnedest to make the perfect Christmas happen. And then she storms out of the house, jumps out the window, and proceeds to be a very angry, cantankerous, and absolutely ill-tempered person, especially towards Frosty and everyone else around her. So much so that she starts to go primal and climbs up the Christmas tree to get out that star. That is until Peter starts the Christmas pageant alongside Stewie as baby Jesus, as he proceeds to say a little speech of what Christmas is about. And it's basically goodwill towards mankind. And even though Lois has cooled down, Peter still thinks that she didn't get it, so he ends up having someone fire a tranquilizer at her, and then she falls down from the tree, feeling very sedated. And of course, her speech is robbed from her. At least for Peter, Brian, Stewie, Meg, and Chris, they get their presents, especially Stewie getting his plutonium from Santa. And the episode ends with a cute send-off from Brian, Chris, Meg, Stewie, Peter, and of course, Lois, who is still under the influence of those tranquilizers, and the Griffin family waved to us, the audience. So this was a really fine job done by Seth MacFarlane and his crew in the earlier days. Nowadays, I'm not really too crazy of the newer episodes of Family Guy, but I digress. This was definitely a Christmas special that still has a special place in my heart, and I really do enjoy it, not only for the referential humor, but also for the character interactions, and especially that climax where Lois goes ballistic. That was really awesome, and it was a major highlight. And let's not forget about the fact that Peter wanted to see this film in which Kiss meets Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I thought that was a really cute segment. So I'm sure that those of you who've tuned into Family Guy ritualistically will also have some scenes which you thought were the major highlights from this particular Christmas episode. And please do write in the comments below, because I want to hear what your favorite scenes from a very special Family Guy Freakin' Christmas are. So as I stated before, fire away in the comments section. I would really love to hear what were your favorite moments from this Christmas special from Family Guy. Well, that's it for my little tribute to a very special Family Guy Freakin' Christmas from, of course, Family Guy. And please do tune in later for my final Christmas tribute to yet another Christmas special from The Simpsons, and that is Holidays of Future Past. A Simpsons Christmas special I've heard a lot of really good things about, especially from the likes of Phantom Strider, and I'm sure that I'm going to have a bit of a field trip with this. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!